What's up guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I will be showing you guys how to make realistic trees in Minecraft. To kick things off, we are going to be taking a look at the oak trees, and you know, these oak trees, they're pretty good, but they're not as good as they can be. Now, before I show you guys what I have created, I want to show you guys the reference photo that I went off of just to make sure we are all on the same page with what an oak tree looks like. With that out of the way, these are the blocks that I used to create this tree. And I have created, you know, two trees here. I have this tree with the leaves on it and this one without the leaves. Now this is because I'm not going to go into a tutorial on this, but I do want to help you guys out as much as I can so you guys can create these trees in your world. So all I have done here is created a skeleton with the wood, and all I've done is taken these branches that go up and they kind of curve, and as you can see on all the sides they kind of do that. So if you mimic that, you can get a pretty cool design, and it's really simple to do. By adding some fence gates, some fences, we create more tiny branches, and this is very cool and it adds a lot more detail to the tree. Now when adding the leaves, you want to be careful guys. You do not want to spam them everywhere. There is a strategic way to place these, and the one thing I will mention is you want to be able to see the sky. You want to be able to see the sky because in real life you would be able to see the sky, so that is one way that you can make a tree much more realistic. And as you can tell, all you have to do is not place any leaves in the center and kind of place them sporadically. There's no reason why this should be a bad thing, having a couple holes in here. That's actually something you want. You want a couple gaps and, you know, make it look a little bit more patchy. So this is what I think a realistic oak tree could look like in Minecraft without going super overboard and making it massive or adding a lot to it that, you know, isn't feasible in the game. Moving on, we have the birch tree. Now, the birch tree is actually very disappointing to me because this tree, if you put oak instead of birch, it would look exactly like an oak tree, and that is not realistic guys. So once again, this is the reference photo that I am going off of, and this is what I came up with. So as you can tell, these are the blocks that I used down here. We got, you know, the fences, fence gate, and the block, obviously the leaf I used as well, but all I've done here is created a long base and then added these. I have three main branches that go out like so, and I'm trying to make this more vertical than horizontal because that is what a birch tree looks like in real life. And once again, when you're placing down your leaves, you want to leave some patches in here to make it realistic. What I tried to do here is just sporadically place them so I can see the birch throughout, and I think that that does a pretty good job at looking like a birch tree. Moving on to the spruce tree. Now the spruce tree, we know there are two variants. You have the smaller one and this bigger one, and the bigger one does a pretty good job at being realistic, but the smaller one does not. So just so we're on the same page, here's what a spruce tree looks like, or the reference photo that I used, and as you can tell, it's almost a triangular tree, and this does not really look triangular. I mean, I really like this tree. I think it's the best tree that Mojang has done. Likewise with this one, it looks a lot more realistic than the other ones, but it could use a little bit of love. Once again, these are the blocks that I used, and really simply done. All I've done is created, you know, a nice vertical, you know, center part, and then I've created these branches that come up and out to create that kind of bow that the spruce trees naturally have, and then I placed in a couple of these fences here and there. Now when you place the leaves on this tree, you can place them however you want for the most part, but you want the tree to look like a triangle. You know, spruce trees look like Christmas trees, and that's one fault with this smaller tree. This does not look like a Christmas tree in my opinion. This definitely does, but that smaller one does not. So what I've tried to do is create that kind of Christmas tree vibe, and I think this does a pretty good job at it. These are all the trees from a distance, and as you can tell, you can clearly tell the difference between the oak tree, the birch tree, and the spruce tree. And that is something that you want in the game. You know, if you want to make realistic trees, they have to look different from one another. And that is one thing that Mojang struggled with. The oak tree looks exactly like the birch tree, just the birch tree is a little bit taller. But a birch tree is supposed to be completely different than the oak tree. So, you know, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But this is the designs that I have came up with to fix that. Now, as you can tell behind me, I've created small biomes that represent each of the trees. I have created these biomes mostly for inspirational sake. I want to inspire you guys to create custom trees in your world, because just look at how cool this looks by just adding that tree here. And just imagine if you were to add a ton more trees, a lot more variants. And I didn't go crazy either. I could have put coarse dirt, podzol, everything on the ground, you know what I mean? I could have created rocks, lakes, all that. But I have just simply put the tree down multiple times and then added a little bit more detail. And as you can tell, this is a much cooler biome than the forest biome looks like in the game. Likewise, this birch biome is very cool as well. One thing that I really like about this is how vertical it is. Your eyes are drawn to look up because of how tall the trees are. And this is something that is missing in regular Minecraft birch forest. And once again, this is just simply to strike your inspiration and to show you guys that these trees can actually be applied into nature and they look really cool. And just look at this, guys. The atmosphere that you get from this is incredible. And man, it's super cool what just custom trees can do to terrain. And finally, this is what the spruce biome would look like. Now, what I've done here is made it very snowy. I've made it look like if the wind was blowing, it would knock down all the snow onto the ground like so. And I think this looks very realistic, and this is once again to just strike a little bit of inspiration, so when you guys go into your worlds, you guys are, you know, wanting to create custom trees. And there we go, guys. Those are the custom trees that I have created to look very realistic in the game, and hopefully you guys got some inspiration from this and are wanting to do it in your world. And if you guys want me to create the other trees, the acacia, dark oak, and jungle, let me know in the comment section below. And with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Have a safe and enjoyable rest of the day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.